Hello, Namaskar, good evening. This is Balneet. I welcome all of you to the Tathastu Institute of Civil Services. Today we are here for the daily news analysis session. Good evening, Jainam, Ekta, Rishi, Kunal. Good evening, everyone. Let's quickly start today's session. Under mains Manthan, we have three important news. The first one is mending ties. Now here the editorial is talking about the recent visit of the President of Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. He's there in India for 5-day visit. Here they are trying to be more strategic partners to talk about technology, to talk about security, be it economic, be it political, as well as AI governance, and all related to critical and emerging technologies with both countries are trying to have a greater access upon. Then comes World Court's advisory opinion, boost climate action. Now this editorial is talking about ICJ, International Court of Justice, which is saying or which is asking the states to boost up their steps in order to provide finances related to the climate change to the developing countries. अब यहाँ पे ICJ ने ऐसा क्यों कहा? क्योंकि there is a island, Vanuatu Island. It's located southeastern coast of Australia. It has reached ICJ to say that we need more sort of finance, otherwise हमारे जैसे छोटे छोटे islands, छोटे छोटे nations would vanish off in upcoming years. So ICJ has said that the states are bounded in order to fulfill their climate obligations. Sat Shri Akal, Rishi, Sonali, Ekta, Sabu, good evening everyone. Then comes how groundwater contamination is fueling chronic illnesses. Now here if I talk about the rising groundwater contamination in India, and India is one of the largest user of the groundwater in the entire world, and it is also over dependent on the groundwater. If we talk about the states, that is Punjab, that is Haryana, that is Rajasthan, there are many districts which are already water stressed, which are already water stressed. And how this groundwater contamination is not only affecting the lives of the people, it's also affecting the economy, it's also affecting the health of the people, and they are facing lot many diseases due to arsenic, nicotinamide, due to fluoride. All of those chemicals are being found in the groundwater, and we will be discussing that in detail. Then under prelim Sarthi, not much was there, but yes, this thing is definitely that National Security Advisor of India, Ajit Doval, has gone to Moscow, to Kremlin to meet President Putin. Here Dovalji is saying that India and Russia are having strategic and symbolic partnership in today's international arena when there are tumultuous functions which have been going on across the world. Now, which tumultuous functions? Basically, it is the Indo-US tariff war, which is India-US, or we can say USA tariff war, which is going on across the world. Then we move to the first editorial of today's session, mending ties, India-Philippines relations, GS2 international relations. First, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. visited India. This is his first visit since the year 2022. He's here for 5-day visit. He's also expected to go to Bangalore, the tech capital of India, and do all sort of agreements, strategic partnership agreements signed between this, which will strengthen the bilateral ties between Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the defense, the security, the technological cooperation, the AI governance, the maritime security. All of these things have been discussed there. Sabu, am I audible? I'm audible. Samreen, Ekta, Rishi, give me a quick thumbs up. There is some disturbance. Is it fine now? Sabu, is it fine now? Or you can just refresh or start watching the video all over again. Okay, then comes the visit underscores both nations' commitment to counter the Chinese influence. We all know China is expanding its footprint in South China Sea region, and Philippines is also there. So Philippines does not want overemphasize on China or China's policy of maritime territorial aggression. That is the major problem which all the Southeast Asian nations are competing with. India has consistently supported Philippines stand, also the UN clause, that is United Nations Convention on Law of the Seas, which has given its judgment that China का मतलब ये नहीं कि वो 9 line, China's 9 line is the line जहां जहां तक ये line है वहां तक China कहता है ये सारी मेरी territory है. So UN clause, the tribunal has given the verdict that the 9 line is not legitimate, is not the line which the international community can trust upon, and it has given its vote, its judgment in the favor of the Southeast Asian nations like Philippines and other states. Then joint maritime exercise between Indian Navy, Philippines, signaling a closer. So basically this for the first time our Indian Navy and Philippines Navy are collaborating and doing some sort of defense exercises in that region. That shows that हमारा रिश्ता Philippines के साथ is very bold and it's going forward. Then comes the BrahMos missile. Now Philippines has become the first global country, first foreign country to take BrahMos missile from India. Then with macros reportedly entrusting and acquiring more Indian military hardware. We all know our defense exports have increased to approx 23,000 crore rupees. Even there is enhanced defense cooperation between all three services and the Coast Guard. Very good, Dattaraj. Very good. India and Philippines Coast Guard. There is more sort of cooperation, more sort of coordination. But बच्चे इसमें हमारी main problem क्या है? जो हमारा current bilateral trade है, that is just $3.3 billion, right? And we have a long way to go. If we look at the China's, it must be almost 20 times of what we have in India, the trade with Philippines. Agreements to ease, हम visa process ease करने की बात कर रहे हैं, and we are also planning to have a direct flight from New Delhi to Manila. When I say Manila, Manila is the capital of Philippines, and we have an important headquarters in Manila, that is Asian Development Bank. Now if we move forward, the regional significance. So what are the regional significance? The Philippines will chair the ASEAN Summit 2006. अब ASEAN का member India भी है. So India is promoting all sort of support to Philippines chair in the year 2026 and coordinate the ASEAN India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership as well as the geopolitical significance of both countries' relations. Then efforts to ease tension within India through dialogue to revise the ASEAN-India trade in goods agreement, right? That you need to know. Once you get the PDF, just try to have the look here. If you look here, this is Philippines, right? This is Philippines and this is the South China Sea region. Here, somewhere here, our Navy and Philippines Navy are coming together and doing the first ever military exercise in the disputed region. Again, our Honorable PM has also said that all the countries should follow rule-based order. Rule-based order. अगर UN clause के tribunal ने कोई judgment दिया है, then we should make sure to follow the instructions or follow the judgment of the international community. Then if we move to the next, that is India's global trade strategy, that is India's proactive approach to trade agreements, discussing preferential trade agreement with Philippines, also serves as a reminder जितना हम अपने diplomatic relation को expand करेंगे with Philippines, it is in a better term with even the Quad nation. Quad, we all know who all are the members of Quad. Basically, we have India, USA, Australia and Japan, and all these members are coming together for Indo-Pacific stability. We want it to be a peaceful, prosperous, developmental, regional alliance where all countries coming together and working for the benefit of all the nearby countries. Now there is a PYQ for you. Please quickly solve this question. Thank you, Rishi, Ishika, good evening, Dharmendra, Jivina, thank you so much. Anand. Rishi beta, rethink your answer. Suresh. Javina saying A. Why are you eliminating the third option? 10 more seconds, then we will start. Okay, let's start. Now the first statement says most of the world's coral reef are in tropical waters. That is right. 1/3 coral reefs located in Australia, located in Philippines as well as Indonesia. Then they host far more animal phyla than those hosted by the tropical rainforest. All of these are correct. Good, Javina. Good, Ishika. Good. Good. Very good. It's okay, Rishi. The correct answer here is 1, 2, and 3. Then we move to the next. This was asked in the year 2018. Then we have one more question for you quickly. Quickly give me the answer of this question, everyone. Good. So we will quickly solve this question. The first one says Catalonia is based in Spain. This is correct. Crimea is not in Hungary. Crimea is the place which has been annexed by Russia in the year 2014. Right? So again, this is a wrong one. Mindanao, that is in Philippines, right? Oromia is not in Nigeria. Rather, it is in Ethiopia. It is in Ethiopia. So what is the correct answer then? That is 1 and 3. Yeah, C is the correct answer here. Okay, C is the correct answer. Good, Rishi. Ishika, C. Javina, C. Roshni, Dattaraj, C is the answer. Good, Kunal. Then we move to the next. World Courts Advisory Opinion Boost Climate Action. Now, ICJ, that is International Court of Justice Jurisdiction Advisory on Climate Change, GS Paper 2 International Relations, and GS Paper 3 Environment and Ecology. As I've told you, there is an island that is Vanuatu. Basically it has reached the International Court of Justice and asking कि भाई हमें climate finance की ज़रूरत है, अगर global warming, अगर climate change के against अभी steps नहीं लिए गए तो ये हमारे जैसे island, हमारे जैसे छोटे छोटे nations, छोटी countries would vanish off, right? International Court of Justice regarding climate action obligations for state, again it is not legally binding but it has have great authority. ये नहीं है कि अगर आईसीजी ने कह दिया तो भाई स्टेट्स को मानना ही पड़ेगा, legally binding नहीं है, but definitely it has some sort of legitimacy, it has some sort of responsibility and some sort of conduct which is it is expecting from the state. Ab state cannot ignore their duties to protect the climate. Various climate treaties, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, then Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement related to greenhouse gas emissions, as well as 1.5 degree Celsius तक का threshold होना चाहिए. States must ensure nationally determined contributions, their highest ambition to take proactive measures in order to protect them. What they have, that is NDC, nationally determined contributions, जो हर एक स्टेट ने अपना सेट किया हुआ है. जैसे हमारा है we will become net zero by the year 2070, by the year 2070. Then climate justice, again there is global north, global south divide. Global south, all the developed countries, global south, that is all the developing countries, all of them are coming together and bridging the gap, recognizing the principle of common but differentiated responsibility. Basically climate change affect तो हम सबको करेगा, that is why it is common, but again जो developed nations है, जो climate को exploit करके इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन के टाइम जिन्होंने अपनी कंट्रीज को डेवलप्ड बना लिया है, दे आर मोर अकाउंटेबल टू वॉट एवर द सिचुएशन द एंटायर वर्ल्ड इज फेसिंग एज ऑफ नाउ. Again, developed nations are legally obligated to provide financial resources and technology transfer for mitigation and adaptation efforts. कि भाई वो फंडिंग भी प्रोवाइड करेंगे और वो टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर भी प्रोवाइड करेंगे. उसके बाद आता है कि क्लाइमेट ट्रीटीज आर सेल्फ कंटेन एंड जनरल इंटरनेशनल. अगेन आईसीजी ने कहा है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर हमने क्लाइमेट ट्रीटीज को साइन कर दिया या उसे बना दिया गया है तो जो भी प्रॉब्लम है या जो भी चीज है वो कोर्ट नहीं मानेगी. राइट, कोर्ट हैज गिवन द जजमेंट दैट इट इज द ऑब्लिगेशन ऑफ द स्टेट टू इम्प्लीमेंट द क्लाइमेट treaties. States have obligations to mitigate climate change, prevent significant harm to the climate and cooperate to protect the environment. Bache, nothing to explain here, these are very basic things. Then court has also highlighted how human rights impact of climate change, especially for vulnerable population, and climate action should be brought in par with the human transition to have the proper just transition. Right, then we move to the PYQ which was asked in the year 2018. Good evening, Mona Homalanda Sahu, Srimant Singh D. Very good. Javina Singh D. Very good. You have given the correct answer here. D is the correct answer. That is World Justice Project, which releases Rule of Law Index. Rule of Law Index. Then we move to the next. What do you mean by the term carbon fertilization? Come on, everyone, give me the answer. Good, bache, very good. All of you have given the correct answer. Increased plant growth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Good, Javina. A is the correct answer. Sana, Roshni, Dattaraj, all of you have given the correct answer. Then comes, we have Green India Mission. Come on, solve this. Asked in the year 2016. So many people are live, but I can't see the answers. Quickly give me the answers. Green India Mission of the Government of India. Good, Ekta. Okay, good. Roshni, Rishi, Dattaraj has given the correct answer. Ishika, Bache, C is the answer. That means first is wrong, no implementing the green accounting. Second, no second green revolution. Again, this has to be wrong. Restoring, enhancing forest cover, climate change. Again, C is the correct answer. Right? 3 only is the correct answer. Then we move to the next, that is how groundwater contamination is impacting the health of the individuals, the citizens, as well as impacting the economy at a greater scale, also because of the lack of access to drinking water, and there is a lot of arsenic, fluoride, and all other chemicals which are harmful to the women, to the individual health. Groundwater contamination in India, GS paper 3, environment and ecology. Much, data is over there. You do not have to learn the data, but just for your overall understanding, we will discuss this. Groundwater sustains 85% of rural drinking water and 65% of irrigation, make it vital resource for domestic as well as agriculture purposes. Now, according to Central Groundwater Board, it has said that India should rely on integrated water resource management, or you can write integrator groundwater resource management. Also, we have Atal Bhujal Yojana. Atal Bhujal Yojana. Also, with the CGWP, ISRO has its Bhuvan portal where it is tracking all the sites where groundwater is being used or overexploited with the help of AI technology, satellites and drones, right? So making it vital resource for domestic agriculture purpose. it reveals 20% of water sample from 440 districts are contaminated. Basically here they're talking about Murshidabad, which is located in West Bengal. There, as per one survey, around 80% of the tube wells, 80% of the tube wells are having contaminated groundwater. Other contaminant includes arsenic, fluoride, uranium, and heavy metals like lead and cadmium. Now, this is important from your prelims perspective as well, right? This is important. Then we move to the next. What would be the health impact? For example, fluoride. Fluoride contamination से क्या होगा? Skeletal and dental fluorosis. Then arsenic contamination से Bihar and West Bengal में it is more prevalent. Lesions, cancer, neurological disorders, and they have talked about the Ballia UP जहाँ arsenic level 20 गुना ज़्यादा था जो WHO का safe level है. Then you talk about nitrate contamination. It is affecting the infants, and we all know blue baby syndrome is related to nitrate contamination. यूरेनियम कंटामिनेशन से क्या होता है? हमारे जो फोस्फेट फर्टिलाइजर्स हैं, इंक्रीज यूज ऑफ पेस्टिसाइड्स, fertilizers are being used in the groundwater, which is impacting the health of the citizens as well. Then we move to the next, the recent incidents. If we talk about, nothing to learn, 13 deaths have been reported, industrial leaks, sewage seepage, waterborne diseases, again dysentery, cholera, all of this is being done because of the waterborne diseases. Waterborne diseases, right? This you need to be knowing. Then we move to the next, the regulatory framework. Now we have Water Act 1974 जो regulate करता है ground water को. Then we have State Pollution Control Board which are technically strained, under resourced, उनके पास funding नहीं है, उनके पास bigger hand नहीं है in order to take decisions. Also the institutional structure which are fragmented and affect the contamination of ground water. अब बात आती है कि हमें रिफॉर्म्स चाहिए. कैसे रिफॉर्म्स? नेशनल ग्राउंड वाटर पोल्यूशन फ्रेमवर्क, मॉनिटरिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रेमेडिएशन और पब्लिक पार्टिसिपेशन चाहिए, क्योंकि कोई भी चीज विदाउट द एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन ऑफ द पब्लिक इज जस्ट नॉट राइट फॉर द society, the community, so that we need both of it. Then we move to the prelims PYQ. Quickly solve this question, everyone. Asked in the year, I'm writing it here. Good, Srimant. Minimata disease, nitrate. Good, very good, Ekta. Ekta has given the correct answer. The first statement is correct. That is, United Nations World Water Development Report need to extract more groundwater each year. हर साल हम quarter of groundwater निकाल रहे हैं. Again, absolutely wrong statement. So C is the correct answer. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Then comes one more question from the year 2013. On the planet Earth, most of the fresh water exists as ice caps and glaciers. Out of the remaining, the largest proportion is exist in groundwater. Okay, groundwater. So C is the correct answer here. C exists as groundwater. Good, Alina, Javina. Very good, very good. Javina, be confident when you're answering. Even if it is wrong, you need to be very much confident. Good, Dattaraj, Roshni. Everyone has given the correct answer. Again, just an announcement here. We all know that Trump has imposed 50% tariffs on India, and it is asking India to cut down its Russian oil imports in order to make relations better with the United States of America. And at the same time, India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has gone to Moscow to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he is expected to come back to India having a bilateral summit very soon, because the both leaders, Narendra Modi and Vladimir Putin, has not met since the year 2021. And also Ajit Doval has asked or has reiterated that India's and Russia's partnership is strategic, it's symbolic, and we have a long way to go. We also supported Russia's stand on counter-terrorism operations, that is Operation Sindoor, after the Pahalgam Valley attack on 22nd of April. So Russia has strictly condemned the terror attacks in the territory of India, as well as hailed Operation Sindoor, that India has all its right and might to fight with the terrorist. With this, I conclude today's daily news analysis session. If you have any queries, any questions, you can jot down in the comment section. I will definitely revert to you and get back to you with the solutions. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.